our Katha tonight takes us into the realm of Bhagwan Vishnu. Lord Vishnu, he dwells or he is seated in a Kshira Sagar. What color is milk? What color milk is supposed to be? There is a bhajan we sing. The bhajan says, one day, we all will stand in front of our Creator. And the only thing that our Creator sent us into the world with is what we'll be taking back to Him. While having our human experience down on the earth, every negative action, thought and word is a stain on this shawl that He sent us with. The bhajan says, Mele chadhar और की कैसे द्वार तुम्हारी आओ हे पावन परमेश्वर मेरे मन ही मन शर्माओ मेली चादर ओर की कैसे द्वार तुम्हारी आओ हे पावन परमेश्वर मेरे मन ही मन शर्माओ मेली चादर ओर की कैसे. The Kshira Sagar, the Milky Ocean. Seated in this Milky Ocean, there is a serpent, there is a snake. This snake has thousands of heads, a 1,000-headed snake. And he forms a bed by coiling his body, and he forms a canopy, a shield. And Lord Vishnu sits on this serpent as his seat. Is a snake pure or impure? Would you deem a snake to be pure or impure? I don't know. I can't tell. Maybe you could. Though this serpent is in the milk, nothing happens to the milk. The milk never changes its color. The milk never changes its appearance. Nothing happens to the milk. So too, when the serpents around us try to cause turbulence in our lives, we must never allow them to penetrate into us, to change our positive into negative. It's a story. It is what it is teaching us. As Lord Vishnu, he lies there on this serpent. Lord Vishnu is lying on this serpent because this serpent is cool. This serpent loves the milk because the milk is cool. You and I, we want to have the temperament of being cool, calm and collect. But if we don't keep the right company, if our attitude is not right, then we'll never be cool and calm and collect. Smoke will always be coming out of our eyes. Our mind will always be here, there and everywhere and crazy and in different directions. Bhagwan Vishnu, lying on this serpent, Lord Vishnu, he goes into meditation. Meditating, this serpent remains calm and collect, knowing that I must perform my duty to the best of my ability. The serpent is not thinking about food. The serpent is not thinking about himself. But the serpent is thinking about bringing comfort to Bhagwan, to God. The minute we sit down in the prayers, the stomach will grow, isn't it? The minute you sit down, and the time comes when we will commune with God, then God is the furthest thing from our mind. You say, oh God, I should have put on a pants with a different elastic. This one is tight, squeezing me. Or maybe I should have worn something different. Or maybe I should have done something. Maybe I should have combed my hair differently, the urni falling down. And God is the furthest thing from our mind. The serpent remains fixed. The serpent is performing his duty to the best of his ability. Anything we do to the best of our ability, we have no regrets, you know. Because we know that we did it to our best. And so there is no room for regret. There is no room for regret. I asked when you get the most flowers yesterday. And you said, on the day of the funeral, we give the most flowers to the person that they ever get in their whole life. And I said yesterday that most of that flowers that is placed in that box is not love, is regret. It is what I could have done and what I should have done and what I may miss. One day, she was saying to me, do you think that the people who cry in a funeral, they're crying for the person who is dead? She asked me, do you think that the people who cry in a funeral, they're crying for the person who is dead? And I said, well, to an extent, yes. And she said to me, well, I don't think so. And I said, well, what do you think? She said, well, I think that they're crying for their own selves. Because now there is a void that cannot be filled. And maybe they're crying no food, or no maid, or no money, or no something else. And you're only worth what you can give and what you can do. That's what you're worth. It tells us, see the day in the Seetahal, Lord Vishnu goes into meditation. He closes his eyes. And as he closes his eyes, something is about to happen. Out of the navel of Bhagwan Vishnu, a huge stalk begins to grow. At the top of the stalk, the flowers of a lotus manifest. And seated on this lotus flower is Lord Brahma, the God of creation. Brahma is holding in his hand Charu-Ved, the four Vedas. And Brahma is looking down at Bhagwan Vishnu, who is resting peacefully. Ever had a little baby at home? Finish to your work and have nothing to do. And you go in that place where the crib is and you just stare at the baby. For no reason at all, you're staring at the sleeping child. I remember my grandfather saying to one of my aunts, you must not kiss the sleeping baby. Because by kissing the sleeping baby, it is as though you are maljuing the child. Wait until the child is awake and play with the child and don't disturb the rest of the child. Seated on this lotus flower is Lord Brahma. Holding the Charu-Ved, Brahma is looking down at Bhagwan Vishnu. We live in a world, we live in a society where we live among many judgmental people who like to look down at us, thinking that they're better than us. What makes us better than anybody? Actually, let me change that question. What makes anybody better than us? Looking down Bhagwan Vishnu, looking down at Bhagwan Vishnu, Brahma observes something. Something that gets him frightened. He sees this. And what is it? Listen, it tells us. Brahma looks down, and looking down, Brahma recognizes that coming out of the ears of Lord Vishnu, two beings, they're walking out. And this catches the attention of Lord Brahma. How is this possible? Out of the backs of the ear of Bhagwan Vishnu, two demons are formed, Madhu and Ketab, by name. Sounds impossible, isn't it? Sounds far-fetched. Sounds fictitious. Sounds strange. Do you know how much mothers and fathers they're looking at us right now? And they're wondering if the children that they call their own is really their children. Just like it is sounding impossible for Madhu and Ketab to appear, there are many mothers and fathers saying that we live such humble lives and we are such kind, loving people. then is it possible for us to have children that behave like how our children behave? That which seems to be impossible becomes possible. The old people had a proverb, you know. They had a saying that they will say all the time. Don't talk about nobody's children, you know. Watch your own. Because you condemn and you criticize everybody else's children, and you think you put yours up on a pedestal. And after you put them up on the pedestal, you know what happened? Your own children cut you down and caused disappointment and shame to you. I'm not saying don't love them, and I'm not saying, what I'm saying is don't look at anybody else's children. Look at your own. Learn from the examples of others and teach your children not to suffer the same fate as others. As the demons walk out of the air, the demons look at Lord Vishnu and he's fast asleep. But as they look up, they see Lord Brahma and he's awake. So what will they do? If you walk into a room and you see a sleeping person and a waking person, will you talk to the sleeping person over the waking person? They hold the stalk of the flower and they begin to climb up. And as they get to the top of the flower, they look at Brahma and they begin to laugh. Brahma has the disposition. He looks, so he appears as though he is old. What makes us look old? What makes you look old? Gray hair. Oh God. I'm seeing that I'm having a few gray hairs. What makes you look old? What makes you old? That word old. This morning at 5 o'clock, I did the puja for Kumar Maharaj, who is looking on from Maharaj West Side. Today is his birthday. I said, how old are you? He said, don't ask me that question. I said, tell me, I want to know how old are you? He said, I'm as old as I feel, and that is what is important. The old people more brisk than the young people. The old people getting up 4 o'clock in the morning, and the amount of things that they do for the day, the young people will not even imagine or begin to do quarter of that. The young people tired and the old people moving, isn't it? It says, they look at Brahma and they begin to laugh, and they begin to tug at the beard of Lord Brahma. Tugging at the beard of Lord Brahma as though they want to provoke him. Somebody ever pull your hair? For no reason at all? How do you react? Somebody ever hug you and their bracelet or watch or something gets tangled in your hair? How does that feel? Ever experienced that before? Somebody ever hugged you and while they're hugging you, your earring gets stuck to their clothes? How does that feel? I don't wear earring. On the day of my journey, my guru said to me, he said, you must bow your ears today. I said, not me. Wrong, godson. I'm not wearing any earrings. I'll wear a ring on my finger, not on my ears. Actually, now is no longer only for your ears. And anywhere else, everywhere else. The nose might be permitted. Actually, bowing the nose brings a level of calmness. Calmness. It says now, they grab the Vedas from the hand of Brahma, and grabbing the Vedas, they begin to pass it to each other, as though they are playing with the Vedas. And Brahma is stretching his hand to grab hold of it. And Brahma, he cannot reach them. And so, stretching and handing each other the Vedas, they are laughing and playing as though they are throwing a ball to each other. Somebody ever throw something for you to catch it and it hits you? Every time they throw it, it begins to hit the head of Brahman. And it causes pain to Lord Brahma. Somebody ever throw a bunch of key for you? And it hits you on the finger and you say, you nearly break out my hand. And you say, well, you say throw it, so I throw it. And you say, well, I thought you're blind because you aren't watching when you're throwing it. And so Brahma becomes very upset. Brahma begins to call out to Lord Vishnu. But Lord Vishnu is in meditation. And as he begins to call out to Lord Vishnu, what is he saying? Brahma, he's calling with all his might. He's calling with all his power. He's calling with everything that he has to Lord Vishnu. And Lord Vishnu remains asleep. Never scream at the top of your voice to get somebody's attention. And it doesn't work. Long ago, depending on the tone and the voice of your mother, you know if to go or if to run, you know. You all know that? Depending on the tone and the voice of your father, you know if to really come when he calls or if to hide until there is some kind of shanti, peace. Depending on the conversation, you know if to enter in the room or if to shy away. You know. Calling with all his might. Bhagwan Vishnu is in meditation. He appears as though he's asleep. Brahma does something. What does he do? जब भक्तन कहा उनका हरि की नाम उस कर रे वन रे के पोषण रे कर काम किस बनाए हमें पिता का कौन बुझाए जिसमें का प्राप्ति हो चल हरि की उतल कनीश भक्तन की जय देवी माता मैया जय देवी माता जय देवी माता मैया जय देवी माता
जय देवी माता मैया जय देवी माता जय देवी माता मैया जय देवी माता.
Brahma, who is frightened, Brahma tries, after failing to wake up Bhagwan Vishnu, he tries to keep the attention of these two demon-like beings, Madhu and Kaitav, because he doesn't want them to leave with the Vedas. So he's trying to stall them. He's trying to keep their attention and he's trying to keep them calm and cool. I remember hearing a story from somewhere where some bandits entered into a home. They were rough and the lady of the home, she said, drink something, eat something. Why are you behaving like that? Remain calm. Don't frustrate yourself. We have children and you have children and I understand things about. Is she really talking to them like that because she loves them? Is she really speaking in that tone and using that kind of approach because she loves them? Is it? Is that love? Maybe genuine in her heart, she's trying to change them. To change the way they think and to change the way they approach life. To let them know that they're not the only ones who have trouble and they're not the only ones who are suffering. Brahma, he tries to stall them. And what Brahma will see? Brahma looks down and he sees some ants walking. Brahma, who is the God of creation, who is desperate for help, calls out to the ants that he is seeing walking. Please come, do something to wake Lord Vishnu. And you know what the ant says? This fine little creature, the ants looks at Brahma and says, I could wake up Lord Vishnu, but if I do you this favor, what will you give me in return? Even the ants want something in return. Even the ants is expecting something in return. The ant says, if I go out to wake up Lord Vishnu, then what will you give me? And Brahma says, well, every time worship is performed to the devatas, you are free to come to that place. Anything that falls on the ground or fall anywhere, you go and you partake of. That will be your offering. Wherever there is puja, you always find ants, you know. You know that? 99% of the time in the thali with the rice and the sugar, you put it down and you say, but you know, we never had ants. I don't know where they come from. Where does ants appear from? Sometimes we offering the parsad and the whole parsad infested with ants, and you say, but Baba, we never had ants. You bring it with you? Where did the ants come from? This is why. And so the ants accepts what is being given. Nothing for free. You ever hear that? Nothing for free. The ants goes between the toes of Lord Vishnu and begins to bite him, to wake him up. You ever get ants bite on your foot? How it feel? That little ants bite on your foot make your whole foot move. That ants that is so small has that big effect on you. And so, as the ants begins to gnaw at the feet of Lord Vishnu begins to smile as though he's getting a massage. I don't know about you, but you see, when ants bite me on my feet, I enjoy scratching that. Actually, it feels kind of good. It leaves a scar, but it feels kind of good. I don't know about you, what your experience is. And so the ants fails. Brahma, he has to do something. He doesn't want the demons to leave. So Brahma, seeing this effort failing, Brahma has a plan B. What is your plan B in the event that things don't work out the way you expect it to work out? What is your plan B? What have you planned? Nobody was thinking that there will be a virus called Corona. Everybody was busy planning their life and planning for the future. Nobody was thinking about what will happen now, today. Have you given thought it could have been any one of us in a body bag, in a crematorium, when nobody will see us and our body will just be burnt? That's what the body is. It will just be burnt and the ashes will just be dispersed. I think that was God's way of saying to all of us, wake up. But I think there are many of us, we fell even more deep into sleep because we never really learned from that. We went back to our same bad ways, and we went back to our same crooked thinking, and we went back to the same way we speak, and we went back to the same old everything. Nothing changed. Absolutely nothing changed. The only thing changed is the bank account get a little. But if you didn't save per day when you would not have, then what would have been your position? What would have been our position? And so, Brahma, he begins to call. Who is he calling? He's calling for help. The little child in trouble, you know who the child calls? When a child is in trouble, who the child will call? A little child in trouble. The father disciplining a child. Who the child will think of? The mother sent the father in and say, go beat him, beat her. And the minute the child begins to cry, the mother said, leave the children. And the father said, like, you crazy? You just tell me to discipline them and now you're telling me to leave them. Because that's how a mother's heart is designed, you know. It's a different kind of, it is designed differently. And so, Brahma begins to call. Softly he's calling. Because Brahma doesn't want to create an awareness that he's calling. Ever wanted to get somebody's attention to see something or to hear something, but you know that if that person or that thing hears that you're summoning somebody else, they will not witness what you're witnessing. So you try to give some sign, or you try to call silently, quietly. Ever did that before? Brahma is calling the Devi, but it is as though he's not using any words. It is as though mentally he's calling. Ever in trouble? And the only thing that you could think is, oh God. But you're thinking it, not saying it. Oh God, what I'll do now? Oh God, what will happen now? Tonight I was saying, oh God, what now? Because only God will be able to help you at that stage. Oh God, Brahma calling, what will happen? Something is about to happen. Knowing that these two demons came out of the ears of Bhagavan Vishnu, the Devi hears, she acknowledges the cry of Brahma. There are many beings crying. But are we intelligent enough to acknowledge the cry? Would we ever be intelligent enough to... The little dog comes, the little dog jumps on you. The dog is crying for attention. He's jumping. He wants to be patted and played with, and he wants to be given attention. Do you know how much people wish that somebody will take the time to just look at them and say, you're important? Do you know how much people just wish that somebody will look at them and say, you're loved and you're appreciated? Do you know how much people just wish that somebody will look at them and say, you're beautiful, you are divine? In your eulogy, they stand up and they talk about how good you was. Actually, the eulogy longer than the funeral service itself, because at that time, everybody wants to talk. When you're done there and you can't hear nothing, everybody wants to talk about how great and how great and how great and how great. Eulogize those around you while they're alive. Tell them, say, you're important, you're loved, you're appreciated. You know me. I end, whether who it is, I say to you, I love you, you know, at the end of the message. I'm not ashamed to use those words, I love you. You interpret it how you want. But I'm saying genuinely, I love you. I'm saying I love you as mother. I'm saying I love you as father. I'm saying I love you as friend. I'm saying I love you as sister. I'm saying I love you as brother. You know much brothers never talk to their brother? You know much sisters never talk to their sister? And you know what they vex for? A bera. That's a thing, you know. Your relationship is worth a thing. Things were made to be used and people were made to be appreciated. In 2020, we appreciate things and use people. And that's a fact. Is it true? It's how we are designed. I prefer the bearer than your friendship. I prefer the land than you. The minute you're dead, nobody thinking about you, you know, they're thinking about how I could get the land in my name. How I could get the bearer before somebody else get it. Live your whole life, you know. You're a Hindu, you live your whole life, and the minute you're dead, you say, Baba, we could get all-inclusive. Do everything one time now, fix it up, all-inclusive. Maybe our mothers and our fathers should have taken all the food and put it in front of you and said, this is for the rest of your life, eat it. This is enough clothes for the rest of your life, wear it. They who sacrifice the majority of their life and the majority of their youth into doing every single thing for you. Scriptures say the only way you could repay that debt is by performing their rituals after that. But the ritual becomes a burden. It becomes a burden. One day for the month you have to offer pinda, you know. Baba, I can't fast, boy. What we could do? We fast in a different way. We fast to know everybody's business. We fast to do all the things we're not supposed to do. But the thing that you're supposed to do, you can't do it. You have an excuse. Well, they done that, they don't need that. Well, I have news for you. You're not only doing it for them, you're doing it for your own self. So that when the time of that comes, if somebody has the very same attitude you have, your soul will still get something because you planted a seed with your own hand. In the Pitri, I said to them, let's give the umbrella, and let's give the sponge, and let's give the pillow, and let's give all the gifts, a lamp, and let's give food, and let's do everything. Let's give it. Let's give it to those who are deserving. Give the sponge to the man who is sleeping on the pavement. So when he see the sponge, he will say, "Die, you go bring?" He said, "Thank God, I don't have to lie down on a cardboard tonight." Give the sheep to the man who is cold and who will appreciate it. You give the person who have a sheet already, the sheet, and they say, "This thing you give me, chuki chuki." You give food to the person who has food, and that person will say, "Oh God, so much salt and so much pepper, and you could have put a little more sauce." And the man who had no food say, "Oh God, God bless you. God send you in this time when I have nothing. Thank you. Thank you. God bless you." How much people you ever hear when you invite them to a puja in your house saying, "God bless you," after they eat the food? Whoever said that to you? Has anybody ever said that to you? Every single homeless person you give the box of food to have something nice to say, no? Because you know why? The appreciation is different because they don't have. They need, they depend on this. The Devi appears, and as the Devi appears, she knows that these demons came out of the ears of Lord Vishnu. She knows that because they came out of the air, their ears will be very sensitive. So she comes with a bell. She comes holding a bell. And holding this bell, the Devi, the bell appears to be like a half of a moon. Like a half of a moon. And so holding this bell, Lord Brahma sees this. And Lord Brahma is wondering, how will she help me when her hands are occupied? How will she help me? Ever taking out bags from the car and you expect somebody to help you, and when you turn to hand them something because it's falling, their hand more full than yours? And you wonder, who will really help you? And you have no choice but to put back down. The Devi hangs the bell in her hair like an ornament. She hangs it like an ornament in her hair. And hanging it, she looks at the two demons. And the demons seeing her, immediately the demons become mesmerized. Ever just eat home and you go someplace and you smell something that smells so good and you get hungry instantly? Ever smell a perfume and you have to go and walk up to the person and say, "Hey, what are you wearing?" Because it catches your attention. They look at the Devi and the Devi catches their attention. She stretches her hands and they give her the Vedas. They don't even know they give her the Veda. No, they're not lusting after the book. They're lusting after the Devi. And the Devi says, they recognize it is the Devi. The Devi says, "I will give you one Varadan. Ask for anything that you want." And both of them, looking at each other, they begin to fight. I want to talk first. And I want to ask first. And I want to ask first. And I want to ask first. And both of them start to fight with each other. An opportunity is before them where both of them could win out of it. But you know what they choose to do? To bicker and fight. Many opportunities stand in front of us where all of us stand to be winners, you know. But yet we will sit down and bicker and fight and argue. And that's how the mind is designed. Swami Vivekananda says, crab in the barrel. One go up, one pull him down. One go up, one pull him down. And there will never be growth. Because it all happens in the mind. The power of the mind. The power of the mind, you know. You tell the mind, "I'm eating a little bit of food and my stomach will be full." And you know you eat a little bit. Actually, you can't even eat a little bit. Your stomach gets full. And you tell your mind, "This tasting good. I'm going to need some more, yes?" Instead of sitting down with a plate or a bowl, you sit down with a pot. Because that's how the mind is designed. The mind could make you into a winner. The mind could make you into a loser. The mind. And so, both of them fighting with each other, they hold on to each other's throat and they begin to strangle each other. The Devi begins to laugh. Brahma is holding his book. Brahma disappears. Brahma takes his book and he disappears. Because Brahma doesn't want to lose his book. The only time we appreciate the things around us is when we don't have it, you know. You never know how valuable electricity is until you don't have it. True or not? Electricity cuts at 6 o'clock in the evening to 6 o'clock in the morning. You know what happened? You know what will happen? You have to go in the car and sleep because you need AC. And then you value that thing that just seems to be an ordinary thing. Then you know the true worth of it. Brahma, what will happen? He disappears. And so the Devi is standing there with these two beings. They begin to fight. And so the Devi, looking on, they destroy themselves by themselves. Jagadamba Devi Mata Ki Jai. If we do not learn how to be in control of our thoughts, our words, our actions, and the company that we keep, we might just end up destroying ourselves by ourselves. Always keep the company that will help you to grow and to climb and to succeed and to prosper. Always keep the company of those who will help you to bring out the best in you. Ever in the company of some person and that person make you laugh for nothing, for no apparent reason? And when you start to laugh, you just can't stop. Actually, that person always knows how to make you laugh. You know anybody like that? You know anybody who behaves like that? Will take the bad situation and not joke about it, but turn it into something pleasurable. The Devi having this bell that is shaped like a crescent, like a moon. She is called Chatakanta. She is wearing white. Ghanta means bell. Chatakanta, it adorns her hair. And so bedecked in white clothing, this Devi Chatakanta, she's holding the Trishul, she's holding a lotus flower, she's holding a kamandal in her hand. A lota, like a pot, and holding this kamandal in her hand. She's ever ready to bless us. She's ever ready to shower her grace upon us. On the third night of the Nau Raatri, we worship the Devi in this form of Chatakanta. Have you ever heard the Pundit refer to his bell as the Ghanta? The Devi has this bell in her hair. In every home long ago, majority of homes, the homes that were blessed to have cows, they will put the bell on the feet of the cow. Notice? Or around the neck of the cow. Do you notice? Because the cow is depictive of the Devi who will bestow plenty of milk. Chatakanta is depicted as being white in color. The grass that the cow eats will be green. The cow might be black, the cow might be brown, the cow might be white, the milk still remains white. And for this reason, it is the reason why they adorn the cow with the bells. That's the reason why they adorn the cow with the bells. You say, well, we like how it is look and we like how it is sung and we're just doing anything, we jump on board. The Devi is worshipped on the third night of Nau Raatri as Chatakanta.